Today, we're talking about something huge. Hold your XRP until your portfolio literally looks like a phone number. Yes, we're talking numbers that can change your life forever. Hey everyone, before we dive in, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. If you're serious about stacking XRP to life-changing levels, this is the video you cannot skip. We'll also cover crypto inheritance planning, why there's no need for any RFID chips, and how to legally and safely secure your XRP for yourself and your family. Let's get real. The market can feel scary when headlines scream, crash or ban. But if you're holding XRP, you're not here to panic sell. You're here to play the long game, watching your holdings compound while building generational wealth. Imagine having enough XRP to generate passive income, pay a mortgage, invest in property, and even pass wealth down to your family. That's what today's video is all about. Buckle up. This isn't about short-term hype. This is about building a secure future with XRP, leveraging recent developments, and preparing for the greatest crypto wealth transfer in history. Why holding XRP is the ultimate long-term play. Let's talk about patience. Because in crypto, patience isn't just a virtue. It's your ticket to generational wealth. Right now, you might be checking your portfolio and thinking, man, this looks rough. Red candles everywhere. Narratives about a crypto crash. Some YouTubers shouting sell before it's too late. But let me ask you, how many times have we seen this movie? Every time there's a correction, mainstream media runs wild with doom headlines. Remember 2018? The crypto is dead cycle. Remember 2020? Bitcoin dropped below $4,000. People called it a scam. Then it shot up past $60,000 in the next bull cycle. And XRP? It went from cents to over $3 in the blink of an eye. That's why I'm telling you, this crash is a trap. It's designed to shake you out so the big players, the institutions, hedge funds, banks, can scoop up your XRP at discount prices. The phone number portfolio mindset isn't about flipping XRP tomorrow. It's about building a position so strong that when XRP reaches its full utility-driven price, your balance reads like a telephone number, 7 figures, 8 figures, life-changing wealth. Ripple, escrow, and 2025 updates. Here's what a lot of people forget. XRP isn't just another altcoin. It's tied to Ripple, a company that's been building banking infrastructure for over a decade. Every month, Ripple releases 1 billion XRP from escrow, and as of 2025, over half of the original 55 billion is already distributed. That means scarcity is growing. Supply is tightening while adoption is increasing. Meanwhile, Ripple is actively working with central banks on CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. Just this year, 2025, we saw reports of Ripple piloting cross-border payment solutions in Europe, Asia, and Africa. These aren't rumors. These are real-world partnerships moving billions in transactions. As CBDCs become the global standard, guess what's sitting in the middle of those cross-border payments? XRP. Debunking the RFID chip myth. Now let's clear something up. You might have seen conspiracy theories floating around. Oh, when crypto goes mainstream, they'll force you to get an RFID chip to access your money. Nonsense. You don't need any chip. What you need is self-custody, cold wallet, a recovery phrase, a solid inheritance plan. Here's the truth. The only people pushing the RFID chip scare are trying to keep you from adopting crypto. The reality is far simpler. Crypto gives you more freedom, not less. Instead of needing a chip, you just need secure storage solutions. Cold wallets like Ledger, Trezor, or even Ripple-friendly wallets like some give you sovereignty. No chip, no middleman, no government permission required. Crypto inheritance, protecting your XRP for generations. Now let's get practical. What happens if you hold XRP for decades and suddenly you're gone? How do your kids, spouse, or heirs access that wealth? This is where crypto inheritance comes in. Unlike a bank account, there's no customer service line for your XRP. If you don't plan, your assets could be lost forever. Here's how you fix that. Multi-sig wallets. Create a wallet that requires 2 out of 3 signatures to move funds. You can hold one, your lawyer another, and a trusted family member the last. Legal trusts. Set up a living trust where your XRP wallet details are documented securely with your lawyer. That way, when the time comes, your assets pass seamlessly. Dead man switch services, yes, these exist. Platforms that automatically release wallet instructions to heirs if you haven't logged in after a set period. Paper plus fireproof storage. Write down your recovery phrase. Store copies in a safe deposit box, a fireproof safe at home, or with a trusted executor. By preparing now, you're not just holding XRP for yourself, you're building a family legacy. The bigger picture: why XRP's future is different. Bitcoin is digital gold. Ethereum powers DeFi. But XRP is global money plumbing. Think about it. Trillions move across borders every single day, yet banks still rely on slow, expensive systems like SWIFT. RippleNet replaces that with XRP as the settlement asset. And here's the kicker. In 2025, we're not talking theory anymore. We're talking real adoption. The Bank for International Settlements has openly discussed Ripple's role in cross-border testing. Countries in Africa are using Ripple tech to speed up remittances. Asian banks are piloting instant transfers using XRP as the bridge. This isn't hype. This is real-world adoption happening now. So when people laugh and say, "Oh, XRP is boring," it hasn't mooned yet. You have to remember, utility takes time. Infrastructure takes time. And while everyone's chasing meme coins, XRP is quietly embedding itself into the global financial system. When that switch flips, when banks fully integrate, you won't care about today's price. You'll care that you held long enough for your portfolio to look like a phone number. Emotional control. Surviving the trade-off. Let's close this session with controlling your emotions. The market is designed to make you panic sell. That's why you see crashes right before big announcements. It's not an accident. Whales dump, headlines spread fear, retail panics, whales buy back cheaper. But you're smarter than that. You understand that wealth comes from holding through the noise. So the next time you see XRP dip, instead of asking, "Should I sell?" ask yourself, "Am I going to let fear steal my family's future?" Because make no mistake, the people who hold through the storm are the ones who walk away with generational wealth. Crypto inheritance and securing your XRP. No RFID needed. One of the most overlooked but absolutely essential parts of being a crypto investor isn't just stacking your bags. It's securing them for the future. Let's be real. Many of us aren't just buying XRP for ourselves. We're doing this because we believe it has the power to change the lives of our families, our children, and even the generations that come after us. Think about it. What good is it if your portfolio eventually grows so big it literally looks like a phone number? But when the time comes, your loved ones can't access it. That's where crypto inheritance planning comes in. And today we're going to break down how you can prepare for that wealth transfer without falling for the fear-mongering around things like RFID chips, microchips, or any of the dystopian rumors floating around the internet. The fear factor: you'll need a chip to spend crypto. Let's start with the biggest elephant in the room. The fear-mongering around RFID chips. You've probably seen the posts online or heard people say, "Oh, the government will force you to get chipped to use XRP or CBDCs." And while these dystopian scenarios make for good sci-fi movies, the reality is far simpler. Crypto, especially XRP, is built on decentralization and choice. You don't need a chip. You don't need to implant anything under your skin. What you do need is a secure way to store your private keys and recovery phrases. News outlets and blogs love sensational stories about people being microchipped in Sweden to access trains, or companies testing NFC implants. But those are voluntary experiments, not mandatory programs. They have nothing to do with how Ripple, XRP, or crypto at large is building the future of finance. If anything, the real danger isn't an RFID chip. It's people losing access to their wallets because they didn't plan properly. Why crypto inheritance is different from traditional wealth. When it comes to inheritance, traditional finance is simple. You've got a bank account, the bank requires a death certificate, maybe a lawyer, and your assets get distributed. But crypto flips that model upside down. With XRP, there's no bank clerk to call. There's no forgot password button. If you don't leave a plan, your family could lose access to millions of dollars sitting on the blockchain untouchable forever. That's why inheritance planning in crypto is just as important as buying dips and stacking. Let's break it down. Without a plan, your XRP becomes lost crypto, just like the estimated 4 million lost bitcoins. With a plan, you're not only building wealth, you're ensuring it stays in your bloodline. Building a crypto will the smart way. So how do you actually create a crypto inheritance plan? Write down your seed phrases and private keys. Digital backups can be hacked. Clouds can get breached. But pen and paper, or better yet, metal seed storage like CryptoTag or Billfodl, lasts decades. Choose a trusted heir. This could be a spouse, a sibling, or even your children when they're old enough. Whoever it is, make sure they're crypto-literate or willing to learn. Store instructions securely. Don't just hand them a string of words they don't understand. Write a simple guide. This is how you access the wallet. This is how you send funds. This is how you convert it to cash if you need to. Use multi-signature wallets if necessary. For larger sums, a multi-sig wallet, where 2 or 3 people need to approve a transaction, adds protection against theft while still allowing inheritance. Legalize it. Some countries now recognize crypto in wills. Talk to a lawyer who understands digital assets. For example, in the U.S., the revised Uniform Fiduciary Access to Digital Assets Act, RFADA, gives heirs rights to access digital assets legally. Similar laws are popping up globally. Families already losing XRP and BTC. There have already been countless stories of people who passed away without leaving instructions for their crypto. One of the most infamous is Gerald Cotton, the CEO of CX, who supposedly died with $190 million in crypto locked away forever. And while that's an extreme case, everyday investors have faced the same heartbreak. A father in the UK passed away suddenly in 2023, leaving behind what his son later discovered was a ledger wallet holding over £400,000 in XRP and BTC. The problem? No seed phrase, no recovery. That wealth was gone forever. These stories are wake-up calls, because if your portfolio eventually does display a phone number, 7, 8, 9 figures, it would be a tragedy if it became just another statistic in the lost crypto pile. XRP and the generational wealth argument. Let's bring it back to XRP. Why are we even talking inheritance with this asset specifically? Because XRP isn't just a speculative token. It's being positioned at the heart of the future financial system. Ripple has partnerships with banks, central banks, and payment providers worldwide. XRP is being tested as a bridge currency for CBDCs in countries like Palau and Bhutan. Just this year, 2025, Ripple announced a new pilot program with the National Bank of Georgia for digital settlement. If the infrastructure being built today is going to last decades, then XRP isn't just a short-term play. It's something that could anchor wealth across generations. Think of it like this: your grandparents may have bought property for cheap back in the 1960s. Today, that land is worth millions. XRP is that kind of asset in digital form. How to secure XRP without RFID or dystopia. Let's close the loop on the RFID nonsense. The idea that you'll be forced to implant a chip to spend XRP makes for good clickbait, but it completely ignores the reality of how crypto works. Here's the truth. Ledger hardware wallets, Trezor devices, and other cold storage solutions already give you all the security you need. XRP can be transferred anywhere in the world in seconds with nothing more than a phone or laptop. Governments and banks are interested in regulation and taxation, not microchipping populations. If you want future-proof security, here's what you actually need: a hardware wallet, a backup of your seed phrase, plan for inheritance. That's it. No chip required. Imagine the phone number portfolio. Picture this. It's the year 2030. XRP adoption has skyrocketed. Central banks are running CBDCs on RippleNet. Your early patience has paid off, and your portfolio balance reads something like $5 million. Now imagine you're not here anymore. Do your children know how to access that wallet? Do they know what XRP even is? Or does that digital fortune die with you? That's the difference between just being an investor and being a legacy builder. And if you're holding XRP through the crashes, through the FUD, through the "it's dead" headlines, you owe it to yourself and your family to make sure your bags are protected. Key takeaway: You don't need an RFID chip. You don't need to fear dystopian control systems. What you do need is a clear inheritance plan for your XRP so that when your portfolio looks like a phone number, it doesn't get lost in the void. Why hold until it looks like a phone number is more than just a meme. At first glance, the phrase "hold XRP until your portfolio displays a phone number" sounds like just another crypto meme, something people throw around on X, Twitter, when they're feeling bullish. But it's not just a meme, it's a mindset. Because what does a phone number look like? 7 digits, sometimes 10 or 11 digits with country codes. Basically, a number so big, so stacked with zeros that it almost looks unreal. That's the vision. That's the level of life-changing wealth people see when they look at XRP. Not quick flips. Not selling out at $2 or $3 because of fear, but holding through the noise until the balance in your portfolio looks like something you dial. The patience game. Diamond hands over paper hands. Every single XRP holder has faced this battle. 1 week, XRP pumps to $1.30 and everyone's screaming to the moon. The next week, it dips back under 50 cents and suddenly the haters are back saying, "It's dead." If you've been in this market long enough, you know the cycle. Pump, dump, repeat. That's how weak hands get shaken out. But those with diamond hands, the ones who zoom out, who understand utility, who know XRP isn't just another meme coin, those are the ones who win. Because here's the truth. Wealth doesn't come from timing the market perfectly. It comes from time in the market. And with XRP's real-world adoption steadily climbing, time is on your side. Zooming out, what's actually coming? Let's cut the noise and look at what's actually happening. CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, dozens of countries are exploring Ripple's tech. Some already confirmed pilots. Banks and institutions. RippleNet is being integrated for cross-border payments, remittances, and settlements. Legal clarity. The 2023 partial SEC win was a turning point. More regulatory clarity is coming in the US, EU, and Asia. This isn't hopium. These are facts. And they all point to one thing. XRP is positioned to be a cornerstone in the new financial system. So when people laugh at phone number portfolios, let them laugh. Because those who laughed at early Bitcoin buyers when BTC was under $100 aren't laughing anymore. Breaking the fear cycle, RFID, FUD, and the noise. One of the biggest reasons people sell too early or avoid crypto entirely is fear. Fear of losing everything. Fear of government bans. Fear of dystopian control systems like RFID chips. But here's the reality. Governments aren't banning crypto. They're adopting and regulating it. RFID chips aren't needed. Hardware wallets already exist. Losing everything only happens if you don't plan, don't secure your keys, or panic sell. The antidote to fear is knowledge plus preparation. Once you understand the tech, secure your inheritance plan, and zoom out, all that noise fades away. The inheritance legacy. This part is so critical it deserves repeating. XRP isn't just about you. It's about what comes after you. The wealth you're building isn't just money. It's freedom. Freedom for your family to live without debt. Freedom to fund dreams, businesses, education, and futures. Freedom to pass down generational wealth in digital form. That's why holding isn't just financial. It's spiritual, emotional, and generational. The XRP investor's creed. Mindset for the future. Here's the mindset every true XRP holder needs to engrave into their brain. I will not be shaken by short-term noise. I understand the utility and long-term vision of XRP. I secure my assets with proper storage and inheritance planning. I hold not just for myself, but for the generations after me. I will hold until my portfolio displays numbers so big, they look unreal, like a phone number. That's the creed. That's the standard. What you should do right now. So what should you do after reading this? Audit your security. Make sure your XRP is in a secure wallet, not just an exchange. Create your inheritance plan. Decide who will inherit your portfolio and how they'll access it. Block out the FUD, unfollow fearmongers. Tune out the chip conspiracies. Stay focused on the facts. Set your target, whether it's $5,